Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at automation. It'll be a new series that I'm going to do where we take more regular cars and build them in automation, and then we're going to do a little comparisons and things like that. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a car, a wagon. And it's going to be, we're going to go in the early 80s, when wagons were maybe a little more popular. And then we're gonna build it up. We're not gonna go crazy on the specs. And then we're gonna kind of see what we can do with a more modern wagon, and we're gonna kind of put them together and test them on the automation test track within beamng. So a little forewarning, I am gonna just go ahead and say it. I'm not great with suspension tuning, so that's kind of probably gonna be the weak part of this car. I kind of play with just the default suggested suspension components, but we'll get there. So as you can see right here, I'm a 1982 model year. We are gonna go with a corrosion resistant steel, a ladder chassis, and a galvanized steel chassis material, front longitudinal, and then with double wishbone up front and coil suspension in the rear. We're not going to really mess with quality too much across the board here. We are going to go with a 90-degree V8 with a cast iron block, and let's see, we're going to doesn't take much to fill that engine bay up. This might not be the body style I want to use. I'm already basically full. Interesting. I really wanted to go a little higher than 5.2 liters. Because I am going to make this a pushrod engine. Let's go with a 65 wagon. It's a little older, but American cars, they didn't change a whole lot in that time period. I mean, the Ford frame that they were using, the Panther platform, I believe it is, they used for like 30 years. We're gonna go up to right around 4 inches on the bore. And then we're gonna go. Ooh, that's too much. Come down on the stroke a little bit. I do want this engine to be a little overstroked. Be a stroker engine. Because I do want a little more low-end usable torque. I'm not really going for the RPMs here. Maybe a little smaller. I'd like to get it just under. There we go. So just slightly over square, 5.9 liters. We're going to go with pushrod, obviously 2 valves per cylinder, cast iron head, no variable valve lift, and we're going to do cast all along here. This engine's not going to be anything crazy. I'm not going to look at this just yet. No turbocharger. Though I might end up going back and doing a like a 3.6 liter, 3.8 liter turbo 6. We'll see. Single point EFI, standard intake, stay away from the leaded gases. Short cast, dual exhaust, let the V8 breathe a little bit. I'm in two-way, and then straight through and baffled. So we do need to lower RPMs and the compression. Probably 5,300 RPMs looks good. Up the fuel ratio a little bit, air fuel ratio. We're still getting quite a bit of knock. So dump the compression down. We got to get it under 91 octane. So that is 90.9 octane, 304 pound-feet of torque, and 227 horsepower, peaking at 4,700 RPM. I can play with the cam profiles. a little bit, but I don't really want a high, you know, I like that power curve. It looks good. Knock the compression down a little bit and play with the cam profiles, but I don't think, oof. Got valve float now. Yeah, that's not really helping us any. You know, we're gaining horsepower with that, but really want more low-end torque. So, the power band really is 2,000 to 35, probably is the, you know, peak torque application there. Let me come back up on the compression a little bit. There we go. What can we do with the exhaust? Looks like stock's probably going to be the best. I gained almost 10 horsepower. It's like 6 horsepower, I think. 5, 6, 7. Just 7 horsepower gain by upping it a 1/4 inch, but I do lose 1 pound-foot of torque. Sounds pretty beefy. So, here's a wagon. Let's morph the body a little bit. A nice sunk-in portion here. A little pointy bit. It's 80s. This slight flare. I don't want too much here. I don't want to put crazy wide tires on the front. That's pretty good. A little slant on there. Make the front door just a little bit bigger. Kind of like the look of that pillar there. It'd probably be kind of annoying to get in and out of, but that's what we're gonna do. We'll make that like that. Give her rounded glass there. I like that look. Come out a little bit. Did I get the rear flare? No, I didn't. I think that looks pretty good. So, go over here. This berry blue purple that I kind of quickly made up the other day. Headlights, we're gonna go with square headlights, kind of plain. You know, it's nothing crazy. We're not gonna go with a more modern headlight type. Kind of a little stack here with the smaller high beams below it. Okay, yeah, and then we're gonna do indicators, something like this. It looks a little, you know, angular there with the kind of the contours of the body, I think. But that's okay, I think it still looks pretty good. Kind of put these little reflectors down here. Grill, we are going to go with this big, like, here we go, big American grill on it. Chrome. Yeah. What are we missing? Taillights. So for taillights, I'm always tempted to go with like the little 4-light muscle car look to it, but I'm gonna go with, I like these. I think they look pretty good. Look appropriate for the car. We are gonna do another indicator in the back for turn signals. So those are important. Grill, it doesn't really need grills or vents. I'm not going to put any aero bits on it, no wings, no lips. Fuel cap, give it a little plastic fuel cap. Door handles I struggle with. We're going to go chrome on the door handles. That fender flare might be playing with that a little bit. That looks okay. What kind of mirrors do we want in this thing? Gotta have mirrors. those are tiny. There we go. Do need a bumper bar because, you know, this used to be a requirement on cars. At least here in the U.S. I know it ruined the look of many of the European cars that came over. And it would really impale you on that thing, wouldn't it? Look at that. Just go right through you. And we're going to do a little more conservative bumper in the back. Not that. I don't know what that is. Not this one. That's tiny. Can I make that bigger and useful? It just kind of stretches. It looks awful. How about this one? There we go. That's kind of what I had in mind. I don't think I put that centered. There we go. I'm gonna do my exhaust. Do one there and mirror that on the other side for the dual. Maybe I'm not gonna mirror it. I don't know why it's not giving me the. Oh, that's flip. That's mirror. There we go. Yeah, so it does have the dual exhaust down there. And, you know, in real life, that's probably just gonna put soot all over the back of the car there. Yes, we do need an antenna. And a badge. Go with. Which one I clicked on? Yeah, that one. That's not. That's the center. I think that's the center. Yeah, that's the center. And then put one of those in the back as well. Right up here. Oh, and a little concept license plate right in the middle. So, yeah, that's our wagon. Let's tune it. We are going longitudinal rear-wheel drive. Just a regular automatic transmission. This is saying 126. We're going to struggle getting up to 126, I think. I'm not on the test track. Give it a limited slip diff. We are going radial, not cross-ply. Cross-ply would, yeah, we just have no traction ever. I'd like to go a little bigger in the tires. Automation, or beamng really, yeah, there's always understeer and stuff, and I think it's a little easier to do with wider tires, more traction. I kind of wish they weren't all the way out there, but that's okay. Steel wheels, we do 235s, 65 R14s, 14-inch tires are fine. Just solid disc, 2 piston in the front. Up to 10.8 inches, I guess. Drums in the rear. We're going to max out the drum size because drums suck and they never have enough braking stopping power. Plus this car is going to be kind of heavy. No under tray. Not mess with cooling, brake flow. That'll be fine. Put bench up front. Premium seats and a premium 8-track. Hydraulic power steering. No traction aids. Standard 70s. Go standard springs, gas monotube, passive sway bars, and go with comfort. Lower the ride height just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. What's this say? Brake force is low in the rear. We knew that was going to happen. Car oversteers. You know, front engine rear wheel drive, the big V8, lots of torque down low. and not very sticky tires, so it's not oversteer. I'm going to play with the gearing, probably reduce that, but we'll see. Spring stiffness, I'll come up a little bit in the springs. There we go, 9.5. Brake show slight fade. Okay, a little more aggressive pad type. Drivetrain, so we have 62.1% wheel spin in first gear. So let's try to tune some of that out. A real long first gear ratio, though. I'm not a huge fan of that. But it'll be fine. Do 125.8. So, got H-rated tires in this thing. Do 124 miles an hour. We're going to limit it at. Yeah. So, see what the numbers look like on the test track. So, it does get 7.4 miles to the gallon. So that's pretty awful. And look at all these emissions. Weight on the screen? No, test track's at the weight. So it weighs 4,011 pounds. Weight distribution is very front heavy. Not surprised by that. Pulled 0.83 Gs in the 20 meter radius corner. 124, 0 to 62 in 9.3. 80 to 120 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds. 169 foot braking. You know, that's really probably not awful. I mean, it's not great by modern standards, but you know, it could be worse. Okay.